Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a junior doctor working in Cambridge, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Away Weekender bag thing. This is a shiny new bag that I got a few weeks ago, and I've been using it every weekend to do various trips, and I'm absolutely in love with the thing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. This is not sponsored in any way, unfortunately. Away, if you feel like sponsoring my channel, please let me know because I love your stuff. But yeah, this is a completely unbiased review. I bought this myself. It was not hashtag gifted. It was not hashtag spawn, anything like that. I'm going to split up this video into 3 parts. Firstly, I'll talk about why I think a bag like this is useful. Then I'll talk about the specific features of this bag, and then finally we'll talk about whether it's worth the money and how to think about whether it's worth the money, because it's $250 or £250. That's a large amount of money to spend on a bag, but there's a few different ways we can think about it, and I'll talk about that right at the end of the video. And as usual with all my videos, timestamps are going to be in the description and in the pinned comment, so you can skip around the video if you feel like it. You don't have to watch all of it. But yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so the first question is, why is a weekend bag useful? And I've been trying to find the perfect weekend bag at least for the last year, because I have a problem that whenever I go away for a week for the weekend, or if I'm going home to my family home in St. Albans, previously I only really had a choice of 2 bags. I could either use my kind of daily backpack. These days it's the Peak Design everyday backpack, 20 liters. This is a really nice backpack. It's fantastic for day trips, possibly for a weekend trip, but like if I'm taking my camera and my drone, there is absolutely no way I can fit, for example, an extra pair of shoes or a towel or very many clothes. While I love the Peak Design bag, it doesn't quite work for weekend trips. And the second option was the Away carry-on. This is again by Away. I love this thing. I have put it through so much abuse over the last 2 years. It survives like an absolute champ, taking it through the deserts of Sudan and to Iceland and all these other sort of places. But, you know, this is not the sort of bag you want to be taking to someone's house for the weekend, because it looks like you don't know how to pack light. So I've been looking for a decent middle ground between the two, and I knew that I wanted a bag like this. But the problem I had with every other bag that I looked at, and I did look at a lot, and I got targeted loads of Instagram ads about these bags, is that they never had the right pockets to put my stuff in. I needed a pocket for the laptop, and I needed preferably a pocket for shoes. And for some reason, it's so hard to find one of these weekend bags that actually gives you a pocket for the laptop. That's why this thing is great. This thing has markedly reduced the friction to taking weekend trips. So now when I go home to St. Albans for the weekend, I chuck everything into this. I know exactly where everything goes. And it means that I save about 20 minutes of my life when I'm packing for home, because I don't have to make that decision of, oh, crap, which bag should I take this time around? I just chuck everything into the weekender. It can fit whatever I want to fit in it. And yeah, then I just pop it in the car and drive home. Okay, so the main reasons I like it is, I alluded to earlier, basically it's got a ton of pockets that are incredibly useful. So let's start with the main pocket. It's got a laptop pocket. This is just amazing. When I'm taking my laptop, and I'm obviously going to be taking it for the weekend, because why would you spend a weekend without your laptop? I can just pop it in, and it goes into this pocket, and it zips up, and now I've got a laptop that is always going to be in this pocket, and this pocket perfectly fits a 15-inch. The other 2 really cool pockets this has is, firstly, it's got this pocket, which coincidentally is the perfect size for an iPad, and obviously I'm taking my iPad Pro with me everywhere I go, so that just slots beautifully into that pocket and zips up, and it feels like it was a pocket made for an iPad. This pocket is also kind of cool in that it's got this like keychain like device thing, which you can hang your keys on and stuff. I use that occasionally so I don't forget my keys. And pocket number 3 is a tiny pocket over here that is the perfect size for an Amazon Kindle, because obviously I'm going to take my Kindle with me everywhere I go. People sometimes ask why I don't just read on the iPad or on my phone, but I've got a video coming out about this soon if it's not out already. Basically, reading on a Kindle is a 10 times better experience if you're reading a book than reading on an iPad or a screen. So I take my Kindle with me everywhere I go, and it just slots absolutely perfectly into this tiny pocket over here. And in that pocket, I usually also stick my wallet, so that just slots into there. I don't really use my wallet for anything. I have the Apple Watch to pay for everything, because the UK is amazing and everywhere except Apple Pay and contactless. But just in case I have to get a card out for any reason, I have my wallet in that pocket. And if I'm going abroad, I'd put my passport in that pocket as well. So already the fact that this bag has very thoughtfully included a pocket for a laptop, an iPad, and a Kindle, or whatever else other stuff you want to stick in those pockets, makes me very inclined to like the company behind it, because clearly they are thinking ahead and thinking about the needs of the modern traveler. As pretentious as that sounds. It's also got a pocket for shoes. Oh, it's over here. This is pretty sick. You like open this bit, and suddenly you can put your shoes in. And this used to be a problem for me. Like, you know, it's kind of hot, and therefore I kind of want to have a change of clothes. So I want to be able to, on the weekend, change into my shorts and a t-shirt. But the sort of shoes that I wear with my jeans don't really go with shorts. So I quite like to keep a pair of boat shoes with me. But previously, I had no way of carrying them unless I was going to bust out my big ass carry-on suitcase, which would make me look like an absolute fool. of not being able to pack light. So the fact that this has a little pocket for shoes is so convenient. I chuck my boat shoes in there, chuck my little mini ankle socks, you know, those socks that you wear with boat shoes so it doesn't look like you're wearing socks. Those just go straight in there, and then I don't have to think about them. I just know that anywhere I go for the weekend, I have the option of changing into my t-shirt and shorts. And then finally, we've got the main pocket. The main pocket is kind of what you'd expect. It's just a big main pocket. And apparently this bag has the same capacity if you filled it up as one of these. It's kind of hard to believe, but I mean, it's always fit everything I wanted to fit in it, and it's never let me down. This has 3 other little pockets inside it. It's got these 2 dividery sort of pockets where I usually shove chargers and stuff to separate my electronics from everything else. It's got a zipped pocket that I sometimes store coins in. I might use my passport in there if I was particularly worried about it, but it's quite handy having a zip pocket. And then we've just got a main open pocket, which is kind of what you want with a bag like this that can just fit a load of stuff. So if you're like me and you're using packing cubes, you can just pile stuff into the packing cube. This is one of the Peak Design packing cubes. And you just chuck it in there. I think they sell packing cubes on the Away website as well. But to be honest, you can still fit a ton more stuff. So, you know, scrubs, more scrubs, underwear, more underwear. These are the Uniqlo Airism underwears, my favorite ones, by the way. Again, hashtag not sponsored, unfortunately. Uniqlo, if you want to sponsor me, let me know. More scrubs, you know, if I'm ever going on some kind of medical trip. More underwear, t-shirt number 1, t-shirt number 2, number 3, 4, 5, like, I mean, there's still about half of the space left in this bag to just pile in as much stuff as you want. If I wanted to, I could chuck the camera in there. I'm not, because I'm filming with the camera. Actually, I have a spare one. Yeah, like if I want to, I can just take the camera, shove it into the bag. You know what, let's say I'm going to a friend's house for the weekend and we want to play some board games. I'll grab Avalon or Articulate. I can shove that into the bag as well. And it's still got so much more space. Let's take this Leuchtturm notebook that I've recently been writing on, that can go in there. You know what, I want a real book. Let's take a real book, let's shove it into there. And there's still so much more space left in this bag, and I've got like 5 t-shirts, 5 underwears, 3 scrubs, a ton of other stuff. And it zips up nicely, and you have a bag. And obviously the heaviness of the bag depends on how much stuff you put in it. The bag on its own doesn't weigh very much at all. And these little shoulder strappy things are detachable, which is again quite handy. So if you know you're just going to be holding it, you can just detach the shoulder straps and you can chuck these into the bag or into one of the pockets or whatever you want. And then you get a bag that is, you know, it's quite classy. Oh, it's quite heavy now, but it's quite classy. It just kind of looks like this, and you can do what you want with the bag. Drop it in the boot of your car, take it away for the weekend. Yeah, this bag is awesome. Is there anything I don't like about it? I mean, I got this in the natural canvas color. I suspect after many years of use, this is gonna get dirty, but I suspect I can just take it to the dry cleaners or chuck it in the washing machine and it'll be absolutely fine. Also, I mean, kind of what I was thinking is that one of the nice aesthetic things about a bag like this is that the more you use it, the more aged it looks. I suppose that might be a nice look to have. But yeah, that's the only thing about it that I would say is a drawback. Otherwise, it's a very well designed, very thoughtfully designed bag for the modern traveler. And now we come to the real question, is a bag really worth £250 or $250? It's quite hard to justify. When it comes to judging the amount of money we spend on certain things, there are a few different concepts that we should keep in the back of our minds. Number one is the idea of diminishing returns, that, you know, you could get a bag almost as good as this for about £30. You know, the difference between £30 and £250, it does not get you very much more bag. It just increases the convenience slightly. Like, I've never found a weekend bag that has all of these pockets. So I suppose for me, what I'm paying for is the convenience and the reduction of friction. Then the question becomes, is that convenience and reduction of friction really worth £250? And it sort of depends on how you define worth it. I think it is. And the reason I think it is because of how often I'm going to be using this bag. I take weekend trips home almost on a weekly basis. You know, I work during the week and then I'd go home for the weekend or go to a friend's place for the weekend. And therefore, anytime I can shave off friction in that process of going somewhere for the weekend, that is going to be better for my life in the long run. Like, let's say I'm taking, I don't know, 30 weekend trips either home or on holiday a year. That's not unfeasible, there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's say I'm taking 30 of those trips and I'm shaving off, let's say 10 minutes of my time on each trip. That's 30 times 10, what's that, 300? That's like 5 hours of my life. I value my time at far more than £50 an hour, so by saving 5 hours of my life, just across 1 year, I've already paid for this device, this bag rather. I think we should also keep in mind something that I mentioned in my old iPad review videos that you may or may not have seen, is that we want to be spending our money where we want to be spending our time. So the example I gave is that let's say I bought a new sofa. This sofa is not very comfortable. I don't spend a lot of time on the sofa, but let's say I bought a new sofa from IKEA or John Lewis or whatever because it was more comfortable. All that would do is encourage me to spend more time on the sofa. And that's not really something I want to be doing. Let's say I bought a Tesla, for example, all that would do is encourage me to spend more time driving, which is again not what I want to be doing. Equally, if I bought a new TV, I probably will at some point. I don't have a TV in the house. But let's say I bought a TV, that would encourage me to spend time watching TV, which is not quite what I want to be doing in my life. But buying a bag like this, or buying a bag like this, or buying a bag like this, like in the past, I would have thought these are far too expensive for just a bag. But as corny as it sounds, this is not just a bag. This is a travel companion that encourages me to travel. It makes it easier for me to travel. And there have been so many, actually, the main reason I bought this one, this was like 300 quid. This is like a ridiculous price to pay for a suitcase. But my brother got one as well, and everyone we know who's got one of these absolutely loves them. And the reason they love them is because they say it kind of makes packing into a joyful experience. And if you can make packing a joyful experience, you're just more likely to go away on trips abroad. If we think about this idea, spend your money where you want to spend your time, then I think spending a large amount of money on an accessory that encourages you to travel is worth it, because travel is, travel has so many benefits, like, a learning experience, broadening your horizons, whatnot, and having something that encourages you to take more trips rather than thinking of trips as like, oh crap, I've got to pack. These days when I'm going home for the weekend, I think, oh, awesome, I can chuck stuff into this bag. I feel happy when I'm packing. It just makes the experience a bit nicer. And therefore, anything that can encourage me to do more things that will add more value to my life, like traveling, are potentially going to be worth it. So on those three different axes, firstly is the fact of diminishing returns. Yeah, honestly, the difference between a £50 bag and a £250 bag is not that great. The main difference is the reduction of friction and the fact that this kind of looks cool. But the main thing is the friction. The fact it's got all the pockets to put all my gear in so I don't have to think about it. That saves me a lot of time over the long run. And secondly, I want to be spending my money where I want to be spending my time. This sort of bag encourages me to leave the house more, encourages me to travel, and therefore, yes, £250 is a lot of money, but I'm in the position where I've got a full-time job, I've got a side income through YouTube and my side businesses. I can comfortably afford the £250. So if you're also in that position where you could feasibly see yourself spending 250 quid or $250 on a bag, then it would be worth it for you. That is how I justify the purchase. Of course, on the other side, there's the idea that we all have this purchase justification machine in our heads, and anytime we buy something, we can erect all of these various reasons as to why it was a logical purchase rather than a purely status-seeking purchase or a purely hedonistic purchase. Honestly, I think the main value of this is functional rather than aesthetics. The main reason I bought it was for a reduction of friction, but maybe that's just a story I'm telling myself to be okay with spending money on this. I don't know. I think it's worth it for me. You'll have to decide if it's worth it for you. If you do get it, you won't be disappointed. I think they also have like a 100-day return policy. So like you can buy it, try it, and if you don't like it, you just return it. It's not that hard. That was a review of the weekend bag, Away Weekender bag. I hope you liked it. If you want to buy this bag, I'll put a link in the video description. At some point, if Away ever reach out to me and offer me like a discount code or something, I'll put that in the video description as well. Fingers crossed, guys, if you're watching this. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please consider doing so. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekender. Lol. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.